and today we're going to show you how to increase the performance of the Maxxwave Vengeance when you're running MikroTik router OS on top of it with the default installed VMware. Here I've already set a browser to connect to the VMware interface of our Vengeance 3, and I'm going to log in with the root account. And after we get in, you'll see a status screen like this, and it will show you the name of the Vengeance, number of CPUs, how much memory is in it, all that sort of stuff. The first thing we're going to do is disable hyperthreading. The BIOS on these systems do not allow you to disable hyperthreading, so the way we do that is actually through VMware ESXI. To do that, we're going to go to the Manage tab over here on the left. Then you'll see over here we have Advanced Settings. And when we click Advanced Settings, I've already typed it in here, but normally you'll see an entire list of items here. So we're going to come over to the search and just type in hyperthreading. And you'll see it'll bring up these lists here. This is the one that we want to change, VMware boot hyperthreading. By default, hyperthreading is enabled. So we want to basically click on that, click Edit, and set that to false, and click Save. Now, the next time we reboot ESXI, hyperthreading will be disabled on this system. Next, we actually want to double check a couple things on our CHR instance. So we'll go over to the CHR virtual machine, and you'll see here we will click on the Edit button. And by default, this system has 8 cores in it. You never want to set the CPU cores to be more than 50% of the system's capabilities. So what we found is that allocating 4 cores on an 8-core system gives us the best performance. So we'll set that to 4 on the CPU count. Finally, we'll go down to the network adapters, and you want to double check to make sure when you have a network adapter set up, the adapter type is set to VMXNet3. If it's not set to VMXNet3, you're going to have performance issues. So again, just double check to make sure that that interface type is set to VMX3. We're going to click Save, and that will set the CHR instance up correctly. Finally, we will want to double check a couple other things. If you want to change the name of the system, we can go into Networking, TCP Stacks, Default TCP Stack, Edit, and this is where you change the name of the host name of this platform. In this case, it's demo.maxxwave.com. So if you can name your ESXI host whatever you want, but this is where you actually set the DNS information and the host name. If you need to change the IP address of the system, go back to networking and physical NICs, VM kernel NICs, and here you'll see the management network interface, and we click on that and click Edit Settings, and there we go. And here's where we can actually edit the actual interface settings. So right now this is set for DHCP. We could set it for static and pull this down and then set our IP address and subnet mask for the management network. We're not using replication or vMotion or the other ESXi features because this is the free license for ESXi. So all you can really do is just set your management interface and IP address here. You'll see that we've got multiple vSwitches set up. for each of the network interfaces and a port group set to that vSwitch, and the physical interfaces are actually tied directly to the virtual switch. So basically each physical NIC on the hardware connects to a physical virtual switch, which connects to a port group, which is then assigned to the CHR over here. So that's how we default configure these things. You can obviously change the configuration to your liking however you'd like, and use the internal switching feature of ESXI and combine multiple interfaces together. Just note that CHR, it will report the interface speed. Router OS will report the interface speed at 10 megabits no matter what. And just keep that in mind. Even though the networking interface type is VMXNet3, it actually is an unlimited speed internal to the box. So Router OS has to support and report a interface speed no matter what to the, but the actual OS connection is unlimited in nature to ESXi, so to that virtual switch. So if you have a 40 gig card in the box, you've got a 40 gig outside connection, but an unlimited connection on the inside. So if you had multiple CHR instances running on the same box, tied to the same vSwitch, you technically have an unlimited speed type interface there. So, and that is all I have for today's program on how to improve the performance of CHR. Thank you.